I like trophies, credits, accomplishments, stuff that I can point to, stuff that shows my hard work is paying off. Maybe you like that stuff too. But today I want to tell you about something that matters far more than any of that, and it's something you'll never get an award for. I hate that, but it's true. Hey friends, I'm Marc Schelske, and this is the Apprenticeship Way, a podcast about learning how to live life with Jesus. This is episode 15. Are you doing the hidden inner work? For a long time, when I was living unconscious and disconnected from my own emotions and my inner world, I never stopped working. Taking time off, well, it always felt painful, like I would fall behind, like things would fall apart without me. But part of my emotional recovery and healing has been learning how to rest, how to take time off. With my family, that meant learning how to take vacation. So every summer, since starting this new way of living, my family and I take a 3-week-long road trip. Our kids presently are 10 and 12, and they won't always want to spend that much time with us, so we're capitalizing on it while we're still cool enough to hang out with. It's only going to last a few more summers, I think. So we drag a little camper and we hit up national parks and crazy roadside attractions, just spending time together. No phones, very little work email, just having fun together. So a couple years ago, we did Highway 101 down the Pacific coast. The dunes, the redwoods, all the way down to San Diego and back. One of the stops before we got out of Oregon was this place called the Oregon Caves. It's a massive network of limestone caves deep into the mountains. You get to see all kinds of really amazing rock formations and even fossils. It's a long day hike. It's just entirely underground. It's pretty cool. Well, to get to the caves from the highway, you take about 5 miles of narrow winding uphill road. Sometimes the road's pretty steep, with very tight switchbacks. So about halfway, or maybe 3/4 of the way up this drive, I realized something. Despite the steep incline and the tight corners, the drive was perfectly smooth and comfortable. Tight turns on narrow uphill roads usually force you to slow down quite a bit, yet I found I was able to hold a constant, reasonable speed that felt safe. Now mind you, I was driving a Ford Explorer towing a 19-foot travel trailer fully loaded down with everything we needed for 3 weeks of family vacation. I've driven this rig up and down all kinds of mountains before, and this wasn't how it went normally. And that's when I started paying attention. Each corner was banked perfectly to the inside. The bank of the corner transitioned smoothly into the bank of the next corner. The road was slightly wider in the corners. The steepest sections were the straightaways. This road was perfectly designed for a smooth, safe drive. I ride motorcycles, and I almost ached to be on my bike. I started thinking, this isn't an accident. Somebody made this. This smooth road experience, it's the result of somebody's hard work. Somewhere there's a county roadwork engineer or somebody with a boring title, something like that, who studied the topography that this road would cross, who calculated the grade, who carefully considered the turning radius of each corner. This stretch of road is a work of art, but it's in the boonies. Most people will never see it, and most of the people who drive up it won't even notice. They'll be too busy thinking about the fun they're going to have when they get to the caves or telling their kids, we're almost there for the 100th time, right? They won't notice the accomplishment, the artwork they're experiencing. That road, it's an amazing accomplishment. Most people will never know. Our culture tells us that what matters most is our achievements. All those things that we're supposed to list in our bios or on our resumes, right? We value people who've built businesses and made films and written books and received awards and all those other tangible manifestations of accomplishment. People who worked hard and hustled and got things done. Those are our heroes. So it's easy to get swept up in that expectation. We feel a sense of worth when we can point to these tangible achievements. I have this book out, The Wisdom of Your Heart. It's my second book. I can pick it up and I can hold it and I can give it to people. It's tangible evidence of a long journey. I can look at that book and I can feel like maybe I'm finally worth something. Maybe you felt that way about a job or some work achievement or your kid's success or your retirement account. all things that we can point to and say, see, I'm okay, I'm worth something. Or just as easily, we can see all those tangible accomplishments in the lives of other people and feel left behind. Like maybe we missed our opportunity, or the season of our life has required that we invest in other things, or our college friends chose more lucrative career paths than we did, and it's starting to show. We can feel bitter and frustrated because our shelf of accomplishments seems emptier than other people that we know or that we see in our social media saturated world. Whether we're looking at our own list of accomplishments or the accomplishments of others, we find ourselves focused on these outward things, these outward achievements, these accomplishments, these credits. But none of that matters. It won't make a difference in our happiness. It certainly won't help us grow. No, what matters is doing the hidden inner work. The work that we will never get credit for because most people will never even notice it. You see, every day, people experience us. You know what I mean? People's lives intersect with our lives, and in those interactions, they experience a little bit of who we are. Right? Our kids, on the way to school, they experience us. The barista at our coffee shop, the clerk at the DMV, the team member at work, every person we meet or speak with or cut off in traffic, everyone, even people on social media, they each experience a little bit of who we are. Will their experience be smooth or will it be rough? Will they experience us as gentle or abrasive, as kind or cold, as caring or selfish? Now add another ingredient to the stew. If they know that we identify as Christian, what kind of Christian will they experience us as? Will they experience us as people growing in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? Or will they experience us as some other kind of Christian? Here's the scoop. Whatever experience they have of us, their experience will not be rooted in our list of accomplishments. None of that will even matter. Their experience of us will be rooted in who we have become, and that is the direct result of the hidden inner work. That smooth drive I experienced on the road up to the Oregon caves, that was made possible by a whole lot of behind-the-scenes work. Most people will drive that road and they will never even think about it. In the same way, that hidden inner work that you do, it bears fruit that's often overlooked. Smoother relationships, easier, less stressful handling of crises, more peace, more satisfaction regardless of your circumstances. The hidden inner work is about investing in your inner life. It's the time that you invest in your relationship with Jesus. It's the work you put in to determine who you will be as a person. It's the effort invested to face your grief or your pain or your anger and understand where they're coming from and why. This is not work that lends itself to Instagram photos. It's not something you'll ever get an award for. But it is the most important work you'll ever do. May you find the courage to look honestly at your inner world and discover there that God is waiting to walk with you on the path of growth and transformation. Now, normally at this point in the podcast, I say, thanks for listening before I share announcements and stuff I'm up to and invite you to subscribe to my email and all that other stuff. But today, I really want you to stick around for a few more moments, okay? One aspect of our inner life is our emotions. For most of my life, this is something I ignored. I was not well equipped to handle my emotional life. I thought that so long as I could keep building the outward image, producing, accomplishing, that I would be fine. But then brutal life circumstances crashed into me. It was wave after wave of pain. Honestly, I nearly didn't make it. My life took a profound turn. And one of the influences that was impacting my life at that moment was a book by Pete Scazzero called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. He said one thing in that book that hit me upside the head. First it offended me, and then it antagonized me, and then it opened up a door that led to major life change. This is what he said. It is impossible to be spiritually mature while remaining emotionally immature. Your emotional life is the core of your inner world. It is deeply, integrally connected to your spiritual life. I didn't know it then, I do now. Do you sometimes feel only numb? Do strong emotions create anxiety for you? Do your emotions sometimes feel out of control? Do you suspect that your emotional swings mean that you're a weak person or a spiritual failure? If any of that is true for you, then I want you to read my book, The Wisdom of Your Heart, Discovering the God-Given Power and Purpose of Your Emotions. I want to share my story with you, and I want to give you some hope. And I want to give you concrete tools that will help you mature in this crucial area of your life. Now, the book's been out in print and ebook form for more than a year, but I'm so excited to let you know that shortly, just a couple of weeks at the end of the month, it will also be available in audiobook form. Now, I love audiobooks. They are such a gift to busy people. They're a way that we can learn and grow in the middle of our busy lives. We can listen on the commute, we can listen while we're doing dishes, we can listen while our hands are busy, freeing up our minds to engage. If you're an audiobook person, then please get ready to listen to The Wisdom of Your Heart. Look, learning how to understand your emotions and act on them with wisdom, that's not a niche for touchy-feely people or people who are disconnected from their emotions. Emotions are central for all of us because everything we do is experienced through the filter of our emotions. Emotions shape our perception, they influence our decisions, they provide data that we use to justify our choices and our beliefs. Every part of our lives is impacted by our level of emotional maturity. So however you go about it, learning to listen to your emotions and learning to handle them in a mature fashion is central to the project of growing up as a human. This is part of what it means to mature in the image of Christ. If that resonates with you, then I would be honored to be a traveling companion for you on that inner journey. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out when the audiobook goes live, the best way to stay on top of that is to subscribe to my email list. I email about twice a month with a new blog post, when podcasts are posted, and links to other things that will be of benefit to your spiritual journey. I'll also be letting everyone on my list know the moment that the audiobook goes live. So follow the link below and subscribe to my list. And for joining, you'll get a free 6-week email course called Journaling for Spiritual Growth. Journaling has been life-saving for me, and I recommend it highly for you. This little course will get you started. The link will be in the show notes for the podcast. It'll be on the screen, in the video version, and in the notes below. Oh, and would you do me a favor? If you like this podcast, and honestly, if you've stuck around long enough to hear me say these words, then I know you do. Would you leave a brief review in Apple's podcast app? That positive review is really helpful for other people who are deciding what podcast to listen to. It will take you 2 minutes, and I'd be grateful. And as always, you'll find the show notes for today's episode, including all the scriptures and links that I talked about at www.marcalanschelske.com/TAW015. Until next time, remember, in this one present moment, you are loved, you are known, and you are not alone.